What is going on, guys? I am Matt O'Leary, going to hang out with you on a Wednesday evening, a little bit of a quiet Wednesday evening. It's been a little bit of a quiet time for the New York Jets as the Aaron Rodgers. We're kind of just waiting around for Aaron Rodgers, right? That's the thing. And there's been the rumors, oh, Aaron Rodgers, mystery team, the San Francisco 49ers. He's going to the 49ers. Hennessy, I see you in there with the cheers. Cheers. We got a little Makers Mark 49, 46 today. That's what we're going with. My man Hennessy. I would be disappointed if it's anything other than Hennessy from our guy over there at Hennessy. So, yeah, what I wanted to do today was kind of just go through a little bit and talk about positions of need still for this Jets team, where they could look to fill those slots, whether that be through free agency or the NFL draft. Quarterback, we'll start there. We'll work our way around. We'll go through the comments. I have some stuff to give away, by the way, so we'll do that in a little bit. Not right now. We'll wait for a few more people. We kind of just hopped in here at this point, but um, yeah, let's roll right into it. I'm gonna say we'll start with quarterback. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers trade is going to come down the pike eventually. The biggest debate there is whether or not you need a quarterback too. And there's people who say, hey, just let Zach Wilson be QB2. You have others who say he can't. There's no way you can trust Zach. You got to get a veteran in here. Me personally, I would prefer to redshirt Zach. So pretty much bury him on the depth chart. I don't think you really want a situation where he has to come in and play, kind of like when he was a healthy scratch down the stretch, like against teams like Chicago and Miami at the end of the year, where he wasn't even active on game days. I think that's how much of a reset it needs to be. So, who's that guy going to be? Matt Ryan? You want to come here? That'd be a really old quarterback duo of Aaron Rodgers and Matt Ryan. Blaine Gabbert, I feel like something like that could potentially work. There are options. I mean, Brian Hoyer just signed on the cheap for the Raiders. That makes a ton of sense because they're just trying to get that Patriots room back together. Just trying to get that Patriots quarterback room back together for whatever reason. But that's not necessarily something that I would like to go with in the draft. I know that they've been linked to Max Duggan. Supposedly they're interested in him. I've talked about Aiden O'Connell, someone else who they've expressed some interest in. But I want to look at actual free agent quarterbacks available right now. There's not a ton of phenomenal options left right now. They're just flat out isn't. Um, yeah, we got a couple of comments in here. We'll pop those up on the screen. Appreciate it. Cam Newton. I think he's just so stylistically different from Aaron Rodgers. Like, you'd really have to run a completely different offense if you went to Cam Newton. I think he would be a good spot, like in Baltimore, assuming they keep Lamar, but they might end up trading him. So maybe that's a bad example. I'm trying to think of a good spot for Cam. Maybe the Bills, like and a little goal line package. I don't know. Carson Wentz is. I really don't want any part of him. He seems like a really toxic guy, just from everything that we've heard about him recently. He's not really the best of teammates. At which I mean, there's a point in time where I really liked Carson Wentz. I thought he was a good quarterback in 2017, even a couple years after that. Um, let's bring up that's what I wanted to look for, the free agent tracker. So here are some. I'm just going to minimize your comments. Here are some of the guys. Bridgewater might be a little bit on the costly side, but he's probably one of the guys that I like the best. Did Trevor Siemian sign somewhere? I feel like I saw recently, or that he was meeting with a team somewhere. But yeah, Gabbert makes sense, knows the offense. Teddy, I just think is the best really of this group. I mean, it's Josh Johnson. Josh Johnson's been around the league a million times. I would say Bridgewater, Rudolph. Okay, I could survive with Rudolph, but I'd probably go Bridgewater, Gabbert, Rudolph would be the three that you maybe target for just like absolutely nothing. Mm, good one, C. Watson. Cam Newton in Seattle. That's possible. That's definitely possible. Dan says call up Philip Rivers. There you go. Allen or Driscoll. Okay. Brandon Allen. I think I prefer Allen over Driscoll, to be honest with you. Snowball's right, though. Josh Johnson did rock in our offense. He was able to hold it down a little bit. But one of those spots I think that is still up for debate is quarterback that they potentially need to look at. And you could fill it. I'm not talking about starter. We're under the assumption Rodgers is going to be here. You're talking about QB2. And you could use a day 3 pick on it. I would prefer to just go a different route there, though, I think. And then, find a cheap veteran, because how much is a Blaine Gabbert going to cost you at this point in his career? It's not going to be very much. Wide receiver is obviously still a position of need, and that's one that we can get into a little bit of a debate in here, which is I'm all about the healthy debate. Um, Really, the two most popular choices right now for the New York Jets are either Odell Beckham Jr., who they've been linked to a ton this offseason, and the other is through the NFL draft, which is Jackson Smith and Jigba. Now, there's pros and cons to both. Odell is such a high variance guy because of the injuries over the last couple of years. He's had two ACLs in the last 3 years. He didn't play at all last year. So you're hoping he can be the guy that he was with the Rams. Obviously, you're not getting Giants Odell at this point in his career. He's over 30 years old, but can he be a solid number 2? There's a world where, yeah, he probably could be, but I also I think that's a massive gamble to say, all right, we're going to put him out there with Allen Lazard and Garrett Wilson, and that's what we're going to be comfortable with. Now, granted, they do have some depth beyond that. Corey Davis is here for right now. I don't buy that he's going to be here on the opening day roster. Mecole Hardman is someone who you like, but that's a Braxton replacement. That's not really an Elijah Moore replacement. You need to still replace Elijah Moore, which Odell would theoretically do that, but that's a massive, massive gamble to me. And with Jackson Smith and Jigba, look, he's my favorite wide receiver in this class. So I can't sit here and tell you I would be mad if he was the pick at pick number 13 for the Jets. I just think you can make a legitimate case and then have a fear that this offensive line just might not be good enough if that's the direction that you go, because you're relying on Mekhi Becton to stay healthy, which I'm so happy he's in better shape this offseason. He looks phenomenal. I hope he stays healthy. I hope he's able to play, because he was out on the field as a rookie. He was a damn good football player. And Dwayne Brown, who's approaching 40 years old and is coming off an injury, you're going to bet to play left tackle or take a day 2 tackle and say, all right, we're comfortable with you playing right away. I don't know how much I love that. My preferred option, I think, is offensive tackle at 13. But I understand why people love Jackson Smith and Jigba. I'm just kind of curious to see what your guys' take is. I feel like that's the two big ones that I've seen. Is definitely Odell and Jackson Smith and Jigba. What about DeAndre Hopkins might end up getting released by the Cardinals? I'd really be interested in DeAndre Hopkins. I think he has enough left in the tank, and I think he would complement what the Jets have. So I'm kind of just curious to see where you guys are at. Dan says sign Odell, then draft Marvin Harrison Jr. next season. Okay, so that's your 1 year stopgap. Matthew joined the member of the channel. He's joined as the newest member of the channel. Thank you so much, Matthew. I really appreciate it. You guys can do that as well by hitting the join button down below. What's up, Vibe Guy? Yeah, Snowball, I'm kind of with you. He says OBJ for top 6 million with incentive. I just don't like the idea of it being a $15 million cap hit. If it gets up to that with incentives, okay, that's not gonna bother me as much, because really at the end of the day, all you really care about is the cap number. But there's other areas which we'll get to, which I would like to see the Jets fill, but I don't know how you're doing that if Odell's going to be a $15 million cap hit. I agree. I think it has to be an incentive laced deal. I don't think it could be very much. Mitchell says Njigba will be more of a difference maker than an offensive tackle. Could be. He absolutely could be. but you're banking on the offensive tackles that you have to do what they can and not get hurt, which unfortunately they all got hurt last year. Fant, Dwayne Brown, Becton, Mitchell, all of them missed time. All of them missed time. They were, finding guys off the street and plugging them into play on the offensive line. AVT even got hurt last year. And I'd personally like to move AVT back to guard. There are people who would have him out there at either left or right tackle. I get it. My preference is moving him inside and having him play at guard, I think. Hennessy says, I would love to replace Moore with JSN. Harrison Hogan says, or Hagan, excuse me, says, O-line help for Rodgers if he comes to the Jets. That's where I'm at right there. Nailed it, Snowball. $10 million a year with incentives. That's kind of right around where I am. I'm glad to see you guys on that same page. It feels like, what are the chances we get OBJ? I feel like pretty high. It feels like he is the favorite, or the Jets are the favorite to land Odell. The Ravens are supposedly very interested as well, and maybe the Giants. Those feel like the three teams. But Dallas was keeping a close tab on him. Obviously, they traded for Cook, so maybe that takes them out of the mix here. Okay, so Mitchell saying I have faith in Becton this year. I hope he comes in and plays really, really well. I do. What's he going to be like after not playing in 2 years? Is he going to pick up right where he left off as a rookie, or even better? I hope so. That's a big risk. Dan asks if there's any good free agent tackles available. Not really. Like, you're not going to get unless you're saying Taylor Lewan, but that's another guy who's unfortunately been injured through a big portion of his career, over the last few years at least. Taylor Lewan, George Fant is still available. Isaiah Wynn, Juwan James, Jason Peters is 100 years old. Ogboye, like Remmers, who were guys you had on the roster. But there's not Brandon Shell. Bring him back. Remember Brandon Shell? He was all right. It's not a pretty bunch. Luan has a high ceiling when he's healthy, but that's another guy who's had a couple ACL issues over the last few years. Famous J says safe play is offensive tackle at 13. Yeah, Duncan, this is what we're going to get to next year in a little bit after we go through a couple more comments. We're going to go to center next, but that's definitely a big issue. Matthew, the newest member of the channel, asks, are we waiting for Rodgers trade to make other signings? Probably. I think you'll see some more dominoes fall after the Aaron Rodgers news becomes official. Good point from Hennessy. The Miami Jets didn't sign Fant? No, they haven't. They haven't. But yeah, I think that's a good thing to bring up, because center is definitely, we talked quarterback, you just did wide receiver. Tackle we kind of hinted at a little bit, but let's group, I guess, tackle and center together. To me, and there was someone who asked this, Julius asked, you think we can get Jones in the first and Schmitz in the second? That seems like a home run draft to me. I would love Paris Johnson Jr. or Peter Skoronski. Those are the top two tackles in this class. Roderick Jones is tackle 3. He's going to be a top. I don't see him making it past New England. Where's New England pick? Are they 14 or 16? And Pittsburgh 17. Jones is going to be a top 20 pick. So if he's there for the Jets at 13, I think you pull the trigger on it. I like Broderick a lot, and the Jets met with him today, so that's a good sign. JMS in the second, I am becoming. I don't believe that one is going to come to fruition, or especially where the Jets are at 42. The Giants at 25 is risky, and then there's teams in front of the Jets at the top of the second round. If you're staying put at 42 or 43, whichever one you're not trading to Green Bay, I think you're in the mix for like a Whippler or someone like that. I don't think John Michael Schmitz is on the board. That'd be a home run to me if you land either one of those two guys. But I really think you need to get a veteran like Ben Jones in here, the center, uh, who obviously has a relationship with Keith Carter and Todd Downing from his time with the Tennessee Titans. I think that would be the play. Sign him, veteran minimum, cheap. You draft somebody in the second round, and that just gives you the depth that you need finally at that offensive line. The Jets have been trying, and Joe Douglas has been trying to fix the offensive line since 2019. It is not all the way done yet. He had to kind of band-aid fix it because he got here late in 2019, drafted Becton in 2020. They were moving in the right direction a little bit, but still need a long-term answer at center. Still need a long-term offensive tackle answer. Laken Tomlinson wasn't good last year. You're hoping he bounces back. AVT, a stud. Find a spot for him, keep him on the offensive line. But I think center, you look for in free agency and the draft, and offensive tackle, I think you're looking for in the draft. Himney says, I do like Anton Harrison. Okay, that is he's probably is my tackle 4. I don't have him up in the same like stratosphere is mean. Like that's not it's not that big of a jump, but he's a tier below, I would say, the top 3 guys. He's in that next tier. I put him, um, Dwan Jones, Darnell Wright, those tackles who are like late first, early second. I kind of group those guys in that same boat, and he's in that boat as well. VMet says, Matt, off topic. I feel this will be the last year we deal with the Bills in the AFC. Oh, with Bill in the AFC. So if that's the case, would you love to end the season against them? If that's the case, yeah, send him out with an L. That'd be really nice. I'm in on that, VMan. Dan says if we draft Jones at 13, who starts at left tackle, Becton or Jones? Are either of them versatile to jump to right tackle? I think Becton would be at right tackle and Jones would be at left tackle. That'd be my guess on how they would be able to do it. Now, Paris Johnson Jr. has played guard and tackle as well as Peter Skoronski has also played guard or tackle. But what I like about Paris Johnson, he played right guard and he played left tackle. So he has experience on both sides of the line and success on both sides of the line at the collegiate level. So to me, I think he's my favorite tackle or offensive lineman in general, to be honest with you, in this draft. But I would guess that Jones would be left tackle. Maybe at that point, like I can't imagine Dwayne Brown would be like, yeah, I want to come back at my age and ride the bench. Maybe he's a post June 1st cut. He could be, or you can keep him for depth. And then it's Max Mitchell and Mekhi Becton battling it out for right tackle. And I would imagine a healthy Mekhi Becton wins that battle in a landslide. Hindley says, I've seen quite a few mocks with Whippler over JMS because of prototypical size and athleticism. Yeah, I don't really like I don't agree with that. I'm willing to take JMS because of the or even with the size issue, I guess. I think that's how good he is, but I would not be upset if they ended up with Whippler in that spot at 42. I think that would absolutely be a fine pick there. I think it'd be a fine pick. I think he's someone who could play even if he needed to in his first year. And he's a local kid. He's from Jersey. Right? This is what Hennessy says. Can you imagine us with a top 5-0 line? The Jets have had a bottom offensive line for a really long time. Think about the last time the Jets had great success. 2008, 9, 10, 11, those years. They had an elite level offensive line anchored by a draft class where your first 2 picks were a tackle and a center. Dating back in 06 with DeBrickashaw and Mangold. And then you had a left guard in Faneca at the end of his career who was very good. You had Brandon Moore, who was just a steady player, steady guy. And you had Damian Woody, a veteran who came in and was plugged in. So, yeah, I agree, man. David D says, O'Leary for QB2. We're going to get there. We're going to get there. Adrian says desperately need a free safety too. Don't forget. We got a ways to go. We're going to get to the defensive side of the ball in a second. So what I want to do, we're about 20 minutes in. We got over 100 people in here now. We got 118. Appreciate you guys hanging with me. We're going to do a giveaway. So I am working with our lads who, if you don't know our lads, they do an incredible job with like the depth charts. If you want to know what the depth chart for every single team looks like, our lads is your spot to go. But they are hooking me up with some draft guides. So while we're on the topics of the NFL draft, I can give out 3 NFL draft guides. So we're going to do 3 giveaways. So we'll do our first one now. And it's going to be very, very easy to enter this one. So let me share. We'll share the screen, and then I'll let you guys pop in. Hang on, give me a second. So it's going to be very, very easy. There's the spinning wheel with a number 1, a 2, a 3, or a 4. You in the chat, all you have to do is you put the number, what you think it's going to be, a 1, a 2, a 3, or a 4 in the chat. And the first person to guess right will be the winner. Now you only have one guess for each spin. So like someone can't just go like 1, enter 2, enter 3, enter 4, enter. That's not fair. But I'm going to let you guys guess. We'll do a guess. We'll spin the wheel. And we'll give away a draft guide. How's that sound? And then we'll every once in a while, I see a few popping in here already. We got a few. So I'm going to let you get your guesses in another 10 seconds, and I'll spin the wheel. Here we go. Let's see who's walking home with an R Lads draft guide. We do really good work, so I can imagine it's gonna be good. Who is the first with number 4? Right, that's what it's gonna be. Number 4. You gotta go up. The first one to pop in with 4 is Snowball. All right, Snowball is the first winner. We're gonna do 2 more of these eventually. We'll give it a little bit more time. We'll answer a few more questions and then go back to the guessing game. So Snowball, what I need you to do is send me an email, matto'leary95@gmail.com. Send me an email, and I will get you over the PDF. How's that sound? All right? matto'leary95@gmail. Send me an email. I'll get over the PDF to you. We'll spin again in a little bit. We still got the guesses. I was first. You didn't. Yeah, you were first, but you didn't have the 4. You were second. Snowball was in front of Jet in this order here, unfortunately. What do you win? We win it. He won a draft guide from our lads. We're going to do 2 more giveaways while we're on. I'm planning to be on for about an hour or so. So in a few minutes, we'll go back. What's the prize, Aaron Rodgers? Hope so. All right. Let's get to the defensive side of the ball. Someone mentioned free safety. We're going to start with the line and work our way back. Can we not talk about the defensive line for a second? Is that not a major issue on this team right now? You have Quinnen Williams and Solomon Thomas. Those are your 2 guys on the interior defensive line. Beyond that, Tanzel Smart, can you kick JFM or Michael Clemens inside? Now, I've seen that rebuttal to the Jets don't have depth on the interior of their defensive line. I've seen that rebuttal before. They love both JFM and Clemens on the outside. JFM is their best run stopping edge, which is why on first and second downs, they like him outside. And then maybe on third downs, they'll push him in. Bryce Huff and Michael Clemens or Jermaine Johnson, someone will come in and play on the edge, but they're not going to kick him in full time on the interior. I just don't buy it. I don't buy it. So they are meeting with Al Woods, and that's the next position that we're going to pull up. All right, so we're going to share this tab. We're looking at tackles right now. We got to go to defensive tackle. Okay. Here are Al Woods is who the Jets are meeting with this week. He's an older player, but he's a really good run stuffing guy. I'm good with that. And then you could go into the NFL draft and try to grab your guy. As a pass rushing interior. Kalijah Cansey, for example, if you want to go a different position in the first round. Or, there's other depth guys. They talked to Thule. I don't even remember how to pronounce the last name. Thule. I've just been calling him Thule from USC. He's been someone the Jets have looked at as a potential second round option. But just from the veteran market, Linval Joseph, maybe. I don't see Ndamukong Suh as a real option. Al Woods would be great. He met with the Browns earlier this week. Is going to meet with the Jets. Michael Brockers is no, I think he's a little overrated. I'm good there, but there's some okay options. There are some other ways that you can go. Not even listed here, but you have guys like Matt Ioannidis, who's really, I guess maybe they list him as a defensive end, even though he's really more of an interior guy, unless I just completely whiffed and didn't have him up on the screen or just scrolled right past him. But there's options. Some defensive ends. There's some bigger guys on here. No, these aren't all just strictly edge guys. Oh, Carl Nassib. There you go. Poona Ford is another example. I like Poona Ford. What's his market? And yeah, there's Ioannidis, by the way. What's his market value at? Let's see what they have it. I would imagine at this point, if he's still around in free agency, it really can't be. It can't be much. 9.2. He ain't getting 9.2. He ain't getting 9.2. Himney says, I like JFM and JJ as starters. Yeah, I get that. I like John Franklin Myers a lot. Himney also says Cansey can become JFM. He's slightly undersized, but I like him in that pass rush role. Specifically, if the Jets are able to land a guy like Woods, who is a bigger dude, just frankly a bigger dude who's a run stopping guy. You can go a little bit smaller and go more pure pass rush. Plus, Cansey, even with his size, I don't think he's bad against the run. That's not his strength. His strength is just a relentless pass rusher, but I don't think he's bad against the run. This is what I like. Al Woods, Seattle familiar, and big body. Thomas constantly getting pushed back. Yeah, Solomon Thomas is he really struggled last year. I didn't love bringing him back. It wasn't really for much money, so you're not going to lose sleep over it, but you do not want him playing a significant role. I'd rather Tanzel Smart get more reps over him, to be completely honest with you. Put Zach on the DL. Oh boy. Can you imagine? Hayu says, I feel like we need an end. Really? They got a lot of guys that they could have there with Carl Lawson and Bryce Huff, Jermaine, Michael Clemens. There's a lot of guys that they have there. Maybe they add another one, but that would surprise me. I think that would really surprise me. Mitch Staff says Robert Kraft is giving Belichick Rodgers as a going away gift. I certainly do not buy that for a second. I don't buy that one. Yeah, I miss Snacks. Snacks Harrison was great. He really was a great Jet. Really, really underrated. Remember that they paid Muhammad Wilkerson Snacks walk that had an all-pro season for the Giants. He was incredible for the Giants that next year in 2016. They had a great defense, that Giants team. They really did. So to me, interior defensive line is definitely still a position of need. I don't know how, and that's probably also like center, a sign one and draft one, right? Because if you're signing, let's say Al Woods, because that's the guy that the Jets are meeting with, is Al Woods. I think you would need to get someone who's more of your prototypical pass rusher guy because that's not his game, especially at this point in his career. That's not his game at all. Himley says we had 4 DTs as our front four. Yeah, pretty much. They pretty much did. Run stuffer or pass rusher? What's your preference? Ooh, I see Snowball. I really think you need one of each because obviously Quinnen is good for both, right? But beyond that, they don't really have that prototypical run defending interior guy. Like Sheldon Rankins was a pass rushing interior guy, so you need a replacement there, and maybe that's someone you're finding in the draft. But ever since they lost Fadukasi, really, they haven't had a guy who's been that interior, strictly run defense guy. There hasn't been. I think you need one of both. Rico says in the last 10 years, no team has drafted a DT in the first round than us. More than, yeah. No other team has drafted a DT in the first round more than us. Yeah, it feels that way, man. It's crazy. Think about it. You go all the way back. Muhammad Wilkerson, you had Sheldon Richardson, you had Leonard Williams, Quinnen Williams. There was a lot. But now it's time again. The Jets need to address their more. They need to address that more. They really do. Dean says, will Jets hang up the phone for Green Bay until after the draft? Keep this year's pick? I don't think so. I think they want to. I think both sides want to get this done before the draft, to be honest with you. Hi, you says, I like the idea of us getting Rodgers. I just don't want him yelling at the coaches and our young players when they make a mistake. I don't think that's necessarily going to happen. I mean, he's an intense guy, and you might get some of the intensity coming out, but I don't think he's going to be like someone that the team hates. The guys love playing for him. I've never really heard a player say anything bad about Aaron Rodgers. They like the guy. They really do. All right, let's do another giveaway and then we'll do some questions. So you guys know the drill. We'll share the screen. First one to guess what number, 1 through 4, is going to get our lads draft guide. So we'll give it a couple seconds. Let's see the guesses come in. Yeah, here we go. We're seeing some guesses in here. All right, we're giving it a spin. Number 1, the first number 1 in here. GVH, send an email to me, matto'leary95@gmail.com, and I will get a draft guide over to you. I will get the draft guide over to you. Thank you for playing. We're going to do this. We're going to do it again. Oh, I love this. He's 5. Sorry, guys. If you didn't win, we're going to do one more before we get out of here. So you have another chance. Yeah, I'm working with, if you guys missed it earlier, I'm working with our lads, or I did a podcast with our lads, and they're like, hey, we're doing a draft guide giveaway. So if you want to give away some on a stream or to your listeners, please do. So I said, you know what? I think it's good value. I genuinely use their NFL depth charts every single day. So you know what? Why don't we pull that up right now? The Jets depth chart on our lads and what their roster looks like right now, because that's kind of what we're talking about. So this is the site right now. Wes Schweitzer is the starting center right now. So they very clearly need more on that offensive line, as the projected offensive line as of today is Becton, Tomlinson, Schweitzer, Vera Tucker, Mitchell. They need more depth there. Dwayne Brown's back, still need more depth. Tight end room, they're stacked with tight ends. And they restructured some guys. So Conklin and Uzama, they're going to be here. You can't get out of those deals. Ruckert, I want to see him in a bigger role this year. Some good news with Breece Hall, by the way. I don't know if you guys saw earlier today, the Jets expect Breece Hall to be ready for week 1. But he probably won't participate a ton in the offseason, which is fine. But they expect him to be back and ready to go in week 1, that's fantastic. That's great news. Eric Smith, didn't he play safety? Eric Smith on the defensive side of the ball, their projected defensive line: JFM, Solomon Thomas, Quinn Williams, Carl Lawson. Yeah, you definitely need more there. Solomon Thomas cannot be a starter on this team. He really can't. Tanzel Smart, I want to see more over Solomon Thomas, to be honest with you. Michael Clemens, Jermaine Johnson, Bryce Huff, those guys will rotate in. Linebacker, it'll be Quincy and CJ. They probably need a third linebacker, right? Unless, are you buying Jamie and Sherwood being linebacker 3? He's a good special teamer. Hamza Nasruddin hasn't really shown you a whole lot yet, though. Chaz Surratt, oh boy. They're good at corner, obviously. You got Sauce, Reed, Hardy, but they could really use a free safety. That's the last thing we really got to get into, right? Is free safety. Because right now, Chuck Clark and Jordan Whitehead are your 2 starting safeties. But they're very similar. They're both really strong safeties. So I don't like them on the field at the same, like Jordan Whitehead over the top. I don't love that. Do they believe in Tony Adams? I don't know. Let's take a look at some of the comments in here. Hennessy says, I think we should still not rush Brees back. We need him for the postseason. That'd be good. I mean, in a perfect world, yes. But they need a free safety badly. I see this from Himney. He says, we need a true free safety. Oh my God. It's really bad. It's really bad. Good question from Hennessy. How far does Jalen Carter fall? I don't think he makes it to 13. I would think Detroit, where do they pick? 7 or 6? 6. Because it's Seattle 5 and then at 6, I believe. But the first 2 picks will be quarterback. Then at pick number 3, if Arizona stays there, I think they'll take Will Anderson. Then I think maybe you'll see like number 4. Obviously, the Colts are going to take a quarterback. They might Seattle might go edge rusher, and then I think you get Carter at 6. So Detroit, they have 2 first rounders, so they could take that swing. I don't think he ends up falling out of the top 10, honestly. See, Watson says, I see the Steelers trading up with the Jets 17 to 13. Steelers always do that. All right. They do move up a lot. If the Jets are moving back, what would the target be at 17? That's an interesting one. I would think for me, you have to assume the top 3 tackles are off the board. JSN is probably not there at 17. Are you taking Darnell Wright? Is that your move? Are you taking Kalijah Kancey? Because with Wright, he'll probably never play left tackle in the NFL, but I think he could come in and play right tackle and be successful right away. Or do you want the run stopper? What do you do at 17? Yeah, we got a couple. Jerry Spence says DT at 17. Yeah, I think it would be Kalijah. Dan says Kalijah at 17. I'm good with. Yeah, and then you'd pick up another second round pick. Now, it wouldn't be 33. Let's do this. Let's bring up Draft Tech trade value chart. All right. So the difference between 13 and 17 is, let's see, 950 is what? 200. So you have to make up an additional 200 for them to move up from 950 to 1150. They're obviously, you're not going to do it with 32, but they do have another second, right? 49. Yeah, maybe it's maybe that's what it is. And then the Jets kick something back late to even it out. Maybe they kick the 4th rounder back. 112. So it's 13 and 112 for 17 and 48. Or what did I say? 49, excuse me. Maybe that's what they end up doing. And if that's the spot, yeah, I think it's Kalijah. I'm good with that. KG131 says, still think we need to sign a big body running back like Kareem Hunt. Hall will likely take a couple of weeks to return back to form. Yeah, Hunt's still on the table. Maybe they do. I mean, Michael Carter wasn't very good last year. I think he bounces back. I like Bam Knight a lot. They obviously really like Ty Johnson. They're signing him, bringing him back. Maybe they add a Kareem Hunt. I don't see Ezekiel Elliott as a real option. I don't think they're going to end up signing him. I don't know where he goes, to be honest with you. Dewan Landry was our free safety starter before it. I want a ball hawking safety so badly. Yeah. A ball hawking safety would be nice. They haven't really had one of those since when was the Jets' last ball hawk safety? Kerry Rhodes? Probably, right? Would you consider Kerry a ball hawking safety? Like, I don't know. Think of some of those the later Jet era teams, like even Marcus May and Jamal Adams, good safety duo, but I don't think either of them weren't really ball hawkers. Snowball, good news. They signed Thomas Morstead. So man is it's only a matter of time before he gets cut. Thomas Morstead was signed with the New York Jets on St. Patrick's Day, no less. So he will be the new punter in 2023. Vincent says, "Hey Matt, who's the best tackle in this draft in your opinion?" I like Paris Johnson Jr. the best. I would go Paris Johnson Jr. I would go Peter Skoronski 2, Broderick Jones 3. I like all three of those guys. I'd be good with any of those three at pick number 13. But if all of them were there, that would be the order in which I would take them. I think what I mentioned it earlier, but Johnson has the ability to play on the left or the right side. He had success at guard. He had success at tackle. Same thing with Skoronski. Skoronski really technically sound. You just worry about his arm length and if he's going to be able to play tackle consistently at the next level. I think he's going to be fine, but he's just a touch below Paris Johnson. And then Broderick's a little bit of a step back from there. Pats need a punter, man, for Mad Judon straight up. I love it. That seems like a fair trade. Rico says the Titans seem like they are having a fire sale. If they release Bayard, would you be interested since we were talking about ball hawking safeties? Yeah, I think that's definitely a name that you have to take a look at, right? He's released. I know he's a little bit on the older side, right? Oh, he's 29. He's 29. Apologies. All right, let's pull up his numbers. I'm just going to minimize your comments so we can look at it. He definitely fits that ball hawking safety. He was an all pro in 2021. This past year, 4 interceptions, 5. He had 8 in 2017, a 2-time all pro, 2-time pro bowler. Yeah, I think that's the move. And he stays healthy. Look, 17, 17, 16, 16, 16, 16. Yeah, I'd be all over this. Oh, good to know he throws lefty. I think he was fine last year. I don't think he was bad. They didn't have, the same season that they normally did, but over 100 tackles. He's a good player. Absolutely. Jerry says, I could see Bam Knight taking the RB2 spot next season. Yeah, there's a world where that happens. I thought he looked good in a limited sample last year. Obviously, against Chicago is probably his best game. But he put up numbers against Minnesota too, no? Donovan Knight. Let's 300 yards and a touchdown in 4 games. Let's do his game logs. Yeah, against Chicago, Really, his first 3 games were very good, and then after that, kinda definitely tailed off, but, by the end of the year, Jacksonville, Seattle, Miami, they were so shot offensively by that point. Detroit, he really struggled with too, but yeah, 17 for 71, 15 for 90, 14 for 69. The first 3 weeks here, well, he looked good. I think there's something there. What do you think about ESPN saying the Jets could possibly be the 5th best team to make the 5th best team to make the Super Bowl? Like the 5th in the power rankings sort of thing? Yeah, I think it's great. I think with Aaron Rodgers, they're gonna absolutely be a team that's gonna be a popular pick. Um, I like it. I think it's about time this team has expectations. Uh, what Aaron would be the most popular in New York, Judge or Rodgers? Oof, it would still be Judge. He's the captain of the Yankees. Yankees are the biggest team in New York. I don't think it's close. I'm not a Yankees fan, but it's you know, they have the history. New York is really a baseball town when it gets going. They love football too. Jets, Giants is big. Really, New York a good sports town in general. They love all 4 of the major sports, and now even getting into the soccer. I'm not a big soccer guy, but the Red Bulls and NYCFC, they get really big crowds. So I would still say Judge though. But if they win a championship with Rodgers, might be close. Anyone really believe the 49ers are going to play for Rodgers? Seemed like a leverage move. Yeah, no shot. It's just trying to save face, some sort of leverage. I don't buy it for a second here. I really don't. Yeah, that's really the only way. If A-Rod wins the Super Bowl, then I think he probably has it until Judge wins, or if Judge and the Yankees win. This is the I feel like the Yankees are the biggest brand, although maybe you could argue the Knicks. It would be crazy. Do you think Aaron Rodgers would thrive more with D Hop or OBJ? My preference of the two would be D Hop, just because I trust him a little bit more than Odell at this point in his career. The injuries, the significant injuries that Odell has had versus what DeAndre, and he was. I understand he was suspended last year, but played what 9 games and was extremely productive on one of the worst teams in the NFL. In 9 games, he had 717 yards. He can still play. I'm not saying he's going to put up 1,400 yards or 1,500 yards like it's 2017 all over again, but really, really good football player. Really good football player. Yeah, we got a couple D hops in here. If Rodgers wins us a chip, he will be a god in New York. Look at Namath. That's true. It's true. He would. He absolutely would. Yeah, it is strange, Snowball. Absolutely. I forgot what it feels like to be relevant. This is strange. It is. What are your thoughts on the free safety position? Ball hawking would complete this defense. Yeah, that's really what they need because right now, safety position with Chuck Clark and Jordan Whitehead is very redundant. Both of those guys are better as a strong safety, someone who can come down and make plays towards the line of scrimmage. None of them are like the deep roaming ball hawking free safety. That's definitely something that they need. Definitely something they need. Phil says NFL is king. If Rodgers wins the Super Bowl, it's Rodgers over Judge. Ask the average person outside NYC who Rodgers is and judges. They will know Rodgers. That's true. But the original question was in New York, right? I think it would take Rodgers winning a Super Bowl for it to get to that point. Yeah, Hennessy says we haven't had expectations since our Hard Knock season. Do you guys think we get on Hard Knocks this year? I don't know if I'm rooting for it or not. Like it would be cool, but at the same time, I think it's if they do it, great. If not, I'm not gonna. They already do a nice enough job with the One Jets drive. Like, do we really need more? What do you think the Jets record is going to be this season with the talent? Uh, I think the expectation is they should win 11 or 12 games. That'd be my guess. My way too early, subject to change record prediction is 11 or 12 wins for the Jets. Rico says, I hope not. Please no. Rico says, why? Why do we need it? We got one Jets drive. That's what I'm saying. I like the one Jets drive stuff. Yeah, Phil says it could be a distraction, not a fan. NY Sports MC, I'm with Hardy. No distractions from Hard Knocks. Let them go somewhere else. Yeah, go to the Saints or something. They've never been on it before either. And they have a new quarterback. Or go to Chicago. Everyone loves Justin Fields. Go to Chicago. All right. Let's do another wheel. Last wheel. You guys know the drill. Numbers in the chat, 1 through 4. We're going to do one final wheel. We're giving away an Our Lads draft guide. Our Lads draft guide giveaway. We got the numbers are starting to fly in. Look at this. You guys are quick. I love it. We'll do a little spinorama, see who wins the wheel. Four. The first number 4. Dan. There we go. Dan is the first one to get in number 4. Dan, send me an email, mattoleary95@gmail.com. We'll get you in contact in order to get yourself an Our Lads draft guide. We got to be prepared for the NFL draft. By the way, if you guys didn't know, I go live with Ryan and Greenbean every Tuesday on the Talking Jets panel. But also, we're going to be doing the NFL draft coverage, which is my favorite thing that we do all year long. And the trailer just dropped for it. And the trailer, where it dropped, is on the new Talking Jets YouTube channel. We're over 300 subs already, and we only just have this tab up. So, by the way, wanted to share this. I'm going to minimize you. So, Talking Jets on YouTube. You can send I'll put the link to here in the chat as well. Make sure to subscribe for giveaways throughout the NFL draft. We're not going to be streaming on this channel yet. The NFL draft coverage will still be on Ryan's Jet Talk 24/7, but I don't know if you guys have seen it. The promo that Ryan did came out so good. Let's play it. The Jets traded up.
Be there in the second.
The Jets traded up. I love it. Ryan did such a great job with that one, man. Let me tell you. So make sure to subscribe up to that channel if you haven't yet. Content's going to be coming out. We're going to make the switch in July when we come back before the season's on that channel, but we'll have content go up in the meantime. But I appreciate it. I can't wait for draft day. I really can't wait for it. It's the best. The trailer is dope. Must watch content. It is. And think about, I mean, you guys saw how many just awesome Jets creators we're going to have in there. Besides, it'll be us 3, but we had Joe Blewett on the Talking Jets panel yesterday. We'll have the Jets X Factor guys, NYJ Matt, NYJ Mike, Johnny Ice Cream's freaking Johnny Ice Cream, Fireman Ed. So many people, Jake Asman, all these guys, throughout the 3 days, we'll have them pop on. It's the best. This is our 4th year doing it already. Can you imagine? This time is flying, man. First one was 2020. The 2020 draft with Mekhi Becton. That was the first one that we did. We did 21. 22 was a blast, man. The first round, that first round, the night of the first round, I'll never ever forget that. When they traded up, drafting Sauce, drafting Garrett. I think this is gonna be the biggest year yet. Yeah, we last year we had over 100,000 viewers. I can't wait. Yeah, Mekhi Becton, that was the first one. That was our first one that we did. Johnny, go get some ice cream. Yep, we're gonna have Johnny ice cream and his dad. That's who I reached out to. That's who I was able to connect with, thankfully. Rico says you guys need to set up a bar and grilling station and recap on draft picks and who makes the best burgers and drinks. That would be sick. Oh my god, that would be so sick if we did that. Could you imagine? Oh, don't worry. We can take care of that. Don't you worry. We'll put him in the bathroom. We'll do whatever we got to do to make sure that he's not in there. Yeah, this is what it really like genuinely this is what I like about the Jets creator space is we're all a big family. You know, we all get along. Everyone does content together. It's good stuff. It's really good stuff. No, not all in person. That would be fantastic if we're able to get it all in person, but no, I think we'll probably have to wait. The next time that a big group of people are going to be together is the Hall of Fame. I know I'll be there. Jake Asman will be there. Green Bean's going to be there. Dom C is going to be there. I don't know if Ryan is going to be there, but a ton of Jets people are. So if you're going to that, that'd be so sick. Hayu says, "Do you think Brees is going to be a top 10 running back this season?" It depends on what he looks like early in the year. I think we'll know by September. I think he'd be close to it. I think he'd be close to a top 10 running back. I'm gonna guess 1,100 yards and 6 touchdowns, rushing touchdowns. Because what was he on pace for? He was averaging 66 yards per game in 7 games. So 66.1 yards per game times 17 is about 1,100. Yeah, I'll go 1,100 yards and 6 touchdowns for him. That's what I'm saying. Jets Twitter and Jets YouTube. I love the community we have. Rico says we gotta keep up with the old mafia movie references. Tell Ryan that putting someone in timeout is go get your effing shine box. Go get your shine box. Oh, that's great. If we had a stronger line, I would pair Bijan Robinson with Brees. It would be so sick. That would be like that's just not necessary. Unfortunately, like sure, would that be fun? Yeah, they're great, but I don't think it's a necessity. There are many other needs before you go running back at that point. I got time for a few more. We were in here for an hour so far, so I got time for a few more. Get in any last minute chats, and make sure for the winners to reach out. Is DJ Reed going to stay with the Jets? What do you mean? I mean, he's under contract for 2 more years. I absolutely think he's going to be around for 2 more years. If that's the question, I like DJ Reed. He has a very friendly deal over the next few. Let's look. It is, and he restructured, by the way, which I think he might be an extension candidate after 2023, depending on how that season goes. You might extend him and try to get the cap number down in 24 and 25. Dan 100% agree. Things you just absolutely love to see. I have a buddy who's a Pats fan and is just like, is this what it's like to be a regular football fan? Yes. Yes, it is. Oh, this is a good one. What Jet will wear 0? Odell is going to be my guess. Himney says, my biggest needs are linebacker and safety. I'm sick and tired of getting burned down the middle and short. It needs to be fixed. Love you, fellow Matt. Yeah, appreciate the love. Thank you. They do need to add more at both of those positions. It's definitely an issue. It'd be nice to have depth there. Like, am I selfish for wanting like I also want Jack Campbell. Like he's one of my bigger draft crushes at linebacker. Yeah, so Phil, good question. My top 3 OTs in order, I would go Paris Johnson, Skoronski, and then Broderick Jones in that order. JFM wearing 0 would be pretty cool too. I'm not gonna lie. JFM rocking the 0 would be pretty sick. So Jets legend Neville Hewitt is a UFA. With Aaron Rodgers, this team is better than the Bills. I really hope that you are correct, sir. And you know what? I think that is a perfect way to end this stream. We were on for just a little over an hour. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for hanging out with me on this Wednesday evening. I am Matt O'Leary. I'll talk to you next time. Go Jets.